Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeff. This is Jeff Ball Astrophotography, and I invite you to stay around, check out some of the other videos that we have. But today, what we are going to do is kind of do first views, first light with the Daystar Quark Chromosphere Eyepiece, and give you some first impressions, some of the tips and techniques that I've used here on First Light Out, and also I'll try to share some images with you. I'm not sure that's going to work, but I invite you to stay around and see what's going on with this Daystar Quark Chromosphere. I can tell you I'm already really happy with what I'm seeing. So stick around. What I'm going to do now is take you to an unboxing video component that I made over a couple of weeks ago. Our weather hasn't been great. Today is actually a beautiful 30-degree post-snowstorm day here at Beach Fork State Park. So let me take you to the unboxing video, and then we'll get back together here at the scope and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, this will be the opening the box component of our video today on the Daystar Quark Chromosphere Eyepiece filter. And I may or may not have covered this earlier, but I do order from Highpoint Scientific. Matter of fact, in this particular case, I did two specific engagements with their tech support people. Dave Barrett is my go-to. That's the main reason I use Highpoint Scientific. I've known Dave Barrett since probably around the year 2000, 1999, and he's a great observer. He has done virtually everything in astronomy, and he's just a great resource. So I highly encourage you to consider Highpoint Scientific. I don't get reimbursed. I'm not a vendor for them, but Dave Barrett is my go-to tech person there. And so I consulted with him twice, once via chat and once via on the phone, just to confirm this was the right setup for my telescope. And if I haven't already covered that, you want to make sure you are picking the right solar scope combination for your optical photographic configuration. But let's see what we got in the box. It's actually a bigger box than I was anticipating. So for just a simple what would be called an eyepiece with a Barlow, I hope I can keep this centered here in the field of view so we can keep all points of interest here as we're opening. So let's see how this thing comes directly from Highpoint with our packing list and paper fill, and then pretty much just the Daystar solar filter in the box. So let's get rid of the box, and hopefully I have this centered up nicely for you. So there's the Daystar solar filter Quark. And let's see where there's our chromosphere designation here. Maybe this is the item number DSZ4C. Hey, wow, made in the USA. Crazy, huh? So it's nice packaging. And this is really nice. I've just seen some amazing work done with this. So this is the interior components. This will be our instruction sheet. Again, I am a little anxious about making sure I have this set up properly. That's the reason I contacted Dave Barrett twice for Highpoint Scientific. It's interesting here, a Daystar Quark configuration on a refractor with a rear mount UV IR cut energy rejection filter. So one of the reasons I contacted Dave was just to make sure that the Optilong UV IR cut filter that I use for my photography would be adequate for the position. And that's going to go in the nose piece of the diagonal. So we'll get into that setup here a little bit later. And then Dave, after I shared with him, I was using this with my Astro-Physics 92mm Stowaway scope, did a configuration for me, and As you see here, they're recommending eyepieces of 25 to 40 millimeter Plössl. And so Dave recommended that I get the Teleview 40 millimeter Plössl, and in the same shipment here today, that's what I've received, is the Teleview 40 millimeter Plössl. So I love Teleview eyepieces. I don't do much visually, but these are my preferred eyepieces when I do some visual work. So that's what we're going to use in our initial setup. Let's take a look at what we got here. I know we have to power this unit to achieve the temperature control that we're looking to do. So we're not going to go knee deep here into the instructions. So it looks nice. It looks like they give you a lot of nice tips and tidbits on some of the things. Oh, this is nice. I really need to bone up on my solar education as far as what the various regions are. So this will be really nice. I'm really looking forward to doing some public observing. So these definitions of the features, that the solar features, would be wonderful for reference. So I need to spend some time with that. So there's that. This is going to be our USB. Looks like a micro USB to a USB control cable. I'm guessing this is probably the power adapter in this box. Okay, yeah, we've got multiple configurations. Looks like a European configuration, a US configuration for our, and maybe some other international type configurations. These are all adapters, and then this will be the USB AC adapter plug for the USB. So that's going to plug into our unit. Comes in a nice plastic cylinder. This is going to screw off. Let's see if I'm keeping this centered. And got some foam still around it. Looks like a desiccant bag here. Yeah. And then in the foam packaging, we have the Quark Eyepiece filter. So this is our micro USB. I think that's where our power cord's going to plug into. This is our, looks like that. I think that's where the eyepiece goes. I guess there should be a lock screw somewhere there. And then this is going to go into the diagonal. So I'm going to work on that maybe differently here. So that goes into the diagonal. Daystar Quark Chromosphere, made in the USA. Okay, so that's our unboxing. I think this is our tuning knob that we're able to tune to the wavelength that our current configuration and seeing conditions will get our best focus and really accentuate the features that we want to accentuate in the viewing. But so I'm anxious to put this all together. We're supposed to have a sunny day tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get at least first light through the Quark Eyepiece tomorrow. So this is the unboxing direct from Highpoint Scientific of the Daystar Quark Chromosphere Eyepiece, Hydrogen Alpha. Thanks for this segment. Let's see what things look like at the scope. I'm doing a little test here just to see how long it takes and if this battery configuration will work for warming up the Etalon. And this has been powered on for quite a while now. Now the minimum requirements are 1.5 amps and 5 volts, which is what I believe this battery is capable of delivering. The Orion Dynamo, I was trying to do just a direct USB connection, You can see here the USB output is 3 by 5 volts and 2.1 amp. So it should meet the criteria, but we've been going for several minutes here and we are still yellow. That's my understanding. That should turn green. So I will update you whenever we get to that point, or I have to seek out an alternative power. Well, there we go. It just turned green. And the thing is, this has been sitting in my eyepiece case, and we are here in the middle of January, and we just had a single digit temperature last night, and this case was up against my wall, and this was very cold. This unit was very cold. So it looks like it cycles through a warming process, and this is now warm to the touch, where this whole unit was very cold when I pulled it out. So it probably took about 5 minutes to reach this, but you can see this power supply, the Orion power supply with a USB connection, will power and achieve Etalon stability. Now I'm debating whether to go out because we had about 9 inches of snow, and to see if I can even find a good location to observe today. So I will update you, but that's just a little bit of a background on that Etalon warming process and what you might expect. So it really, you can feel it warm to the touch for that unit. So to the subscribers, I wanted to say a big thank you for being patient with me. I have just been swamped with a new job over the last few months and haven't really been able to produce much new content. And I'm really not going to produce content unless I have something unique that's going to contribute to what I think viewers want. And that's today. So I got this Daystar Quark about, oh gosh, maybe over a month ago now, and I've just been waiting for the first day. Look, conditions aren't perfect. It's a low winter sun. I'm not sure atmospherically what's going on here with sun beating down on a wet pavement post-winter snowstorm. It's about a 30-degree air temperature, and the temperatures last night were down to single digits. So there's probably a lot of atmospheric wavering going on that's really impacting our seeing. And as you know, this Daystar Quark, it comes with a 4X Barlow in there. Now I am using, as I covered in the opener, the TeleVue 40mm Barlow, and so it's a pretty high magnification image. I hope to be able to share an image with you here in a minute. I'm going to try to put the CCD camera on it, but I'm not sure that's going to work. But a couple of notes about the equipment that we're using here. This is the CEM40 from my Optron, and this is my go-to transportable, very reliable setup, easy to go with. I'm just using 2 Orion Dynamo Pro batteries, one to power the mount, one to power the Daystar, because it has an Etalon that has a temperature control, and I covered that in another previous video, and it is staying green. I'm not sure if you can see the green, but the light is green, and it's being powered by that Dynamo Orion battery. And the UV IR block filter that I also believe I covered in the unboxing is in the nose piece of the diagonal here. So that is in here. The other tip I have, what I did today, I don't really have a solar finder, but I used a white light filter and with my 40mm eyepiece to get the sun centered in the scope. And then I switched to a 12mm Radian, which is fairly close in terms of focal distance. I can see here I'm like at 50mm on this Astro-Physics focuser, and I think with that 12mm I was at about 30. So I just need to note now I'm 50 plus to get to focus on the Daystar Quark configuration with the Astrotech diagonal on the Astro-Physics 92mm Stowaway. So far the views. What I have found, if you can see the Etalon adjustment button here, I think I have it all the way to the right. That seems to bring in the granularity, the surface detail, as well as some really nice prominences that are on the edge. We really have 3 nice solar sunspot groups that are coming into view. There's another 4th on the edge. I'm not sure if it's coming or going. I'm going to have to learn a lot about the orientation of the sun in my setup here, and really understand which way the rotation of the solar disk is moving within this. So I'm not sure if that sunspot group's coming into view or not, but there are 3 really nice sunspot groups out there right now. And the prominence are just fantastic in this 40mm teleview. If the seeing were a little bit more stable, I would probably throw some other power at it. I might do that anyway, just for fun, but I can tell the seeing is really not very stable. But so far, the views are absolutely fantastic with this Daystar Quark. I can't quite get the full solar disk with the 40mm teleview on the Astro-Physics, but it's pretty close. So it's a very enjoyable view. I'm going to play around with some other configurations and play around with that CCD camera, see if I can maybe get some images from today that might be worthwhile to share with you. So let's see what we can get into to finish things up here. Okay, well, you can see we were able to reach focus and utilize the ZWO ASI 294mm Pro. And you can see the settings we have here. It's a 6 millisecond exposure and a gain of 159. But this is the prominence that we were seeing earlier, or I was seeing earlier. And I've just played a little bit with the Etalon dial in. I'm not sure everything's working great there. I'm not sure I know what I'm doing. So let me just scan around here a little bit. And I think that might be that sunspot group I alluded to earlier that was either coming into view or going out of view. See if I can find that other group of sunspots. Here we go. There we go. This baby looks pretty good. These guys, I'm not a solar surface expert, but these guys look like there's some interaction going on there. I'm going to go ahead and just start grabbing some frames. I don't know if anything would be useful here. Looks like I probably have a little bit of an overexposure. I probably need to bring it down a little bit. But I have a lot to learn on capturing video and processing it. And you can see my polar alignment is a little bit out. I love those magnetic fields there though. That looks cool. Let's play around with exposure here a little bit. 1 millisecond can make a huge difference. As you can see, it really takes out that most of that overexposed. 3 milliseconds really takes out most of that overexposed. I haven't played around with gain a whole lot. Maybe if I get back to unity gain, that might be where the better dynamic range is. Okay, let's do a better, maybe, yeah, my polar alignment's so bad I can't get a whole lot of exposure here, but I think you can see what an interesting location. And I'll have to find out these sunspot designations after the recording. But they look fantastic. I wish the seeing were a little bit better. And I really apologize for the trucks in the parking lot. Everybody in Wayne County has a truck, and I guess they go to Beach Fork Lake to spin it out in the snow. Now 1080p is definitely the best option here. And that's some really cool stuff there. I don't know if I can pull anything halfway decent out of this data or not. I will consult with my good friend Brent Maynard, who knows how to process video, and see if he can help me pull anything salvageable out of this data here today. Okay, that comes to a conclusion here. Our first couple of hours really with the Daystar Quark Chromosphere Eyepiece on the Astro-Physics 92mm. And I got to tell you, this was a blast. I can't wait. The views just got better. One thing you have to tell yourself is when you make an Etalon adjustment here with the knob, you have to let the temperature compensate, and it has to go green again before it's on plane, I guess, or before that wavelength is compensated for with the adjustment of the temperature. So that was one thing I found out I had to be a little bit more patient with. I wasn't, and that might have compromised some of my imaging that I tried earlier. But I got to tell you, the fact that I came to focus, and by the way, if you have a quark chromosphere and you are looking for an eyepiece that's fairly parfocal, that TeleVue 40 millimeter is not very far away. It's just a couple of clicks away on my focuser. I think I was at 51 millimeters. I'm assuming that's a millimeter mark on the tube. So I was at 51 clicks versus 53 clicks, I think, for the quark filter. So while kids are here sledding on the hillside of the dam at Beach Fork State Park, it's a great location to do that. And it's really a perfect day for sledding. This has been a good 2 hours with the Daystar Quark Chromosphere filter. I really thank Dave Barrett for guiding me through this process. I've always wanted a hydrogen alpha component. I think this is an affordable alternative, especially if you have an air-spaced scope that works, an air-spaced refractor of the focal length and the F ratio that is designed to work with the quark. So I think it's a fantastic combination. I really look forward to doing this in the daytime. I have a lot to learn about video capture and video processing, but this was a great first outing. And just reach out to me. I encourage you to subscribe and like the video for here today. I've got a couple of events. I'm hoping to get out to the Texas Star Party in April, May. So that's probably the next video I'll produce, because work is just really intense. And so I can't get to another video production. I've got a lot of images. I'm still posting new images on Instagram and on the Astrobin page. So please follow me there if you want to see what I'm up to and doing. I don't do a video on every image that I put together. So thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you found this video interesting, and it may be encouraging to really look into this, what I think is a really affordable and convenient alternative to do solar imaging and observing in the hydrogen alpha wavelength. So until next time, you guys have clear skies and take care. Be safe. I'll see you later.